Hello and welcome to another Larry's Orchid episode. Today we're going to be talking specifically about kikis and what is a kiki and how to deal with it. It's a very commonly asked question, and so we thought we'd address that today. So first we're going to talk about what is a kiki, and then we're going to talk about how to deal with it when it appears on your orchid. They happen a lot on epidendrums and phalaenopsis. So those two, but there's also another one, but that one we're not going to talk as specifically about because it does not always come up as much in the questions. However, it still is treated just the same if you see it here. So coming in close, and we're going to talk about what is a kiki first. So here we have a very beautiful specimen of a kiki. Now what is a kiki? When an epidendrum or a phalaenopsis flower, they produce an inflorescence, and an inflorescence is a flower stalk. When that flower stalk is done blooming, a lot of times people say clip it off. However, if you leave it, sometimes on very rare occasions, it will produce a kiki. And that kiki is a second plant, is a completely new plant. So it's just a great way of reproducing that orchid. Now, as you can see, you have the plant here, and its roots are way above where it would normally be. And that is how you can tell that it is a kiki, because the roots of a normal phalaenopsis or an epidendrum are going to be down in the pot, and some might be hanging over. But this is significantly higher, and it just looks out of place. And the reason being is because it is a kiki. So the thing you're going to want to look for, again, is roots that are forming far above where they normally are, and generally where they had an inflorescence. And that is going to be your kiki. Now we're going to talk about how to propagate your kiki. So the materials you're going to need are obviously a plant in kiki, a 2.5 inch pot here. This is just a small pot because it doesn't need anything too large just yet. You're going to want a growing medium, so we have just our general growing medium that we put all our orchids in. Then obviously you're going to want a label. This label is very crucial because when you purchase your orchids from Larry's Orchids or any place, they will come with a label. However, your kiki, when you repot it, it's not going to have a label. So you want to remember what that variety is, because that's how things just get very screwed up quickly. The last things you're going to need are this is just a piece of paper towel that is wet with isopropyl alcohol, and that's to disinfect your cutting utensil. You're also going to need a pair of clippers, scissors, or a razor blade. That way you can make a very clean, precise cut, and you can prevent any disease with the isopropyl alcohol. So that's about it here. Now come in close and I'll show you how to do it. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to prepare your clippers here. You're going to take your isopropyl alcohol and clean off very thoroughly your clippers. Give them a nice wipe down. And then you're going to simply find the spot in which to cut your kiki. In this case, we have a kind of a double kiki. It has two plants here, but we're going to treat it as just one. You're going to go just below the roots. And so you're going to look for the spot where the roots are, and then you're going to cut that right at the stem there. Make a nice clean cut, and now you have a kiki that is ready for repotting. So as you can see here, we have a beautiful root system. Make sure that the root system is enough to support the plant before you cut it off. It will continue to grow on the mother plant here. However, you don't want it to mature too far because you do want to eventually take it off of the mother plant and repot it. So just make sure that it is enough to sustain life, and in fact this is ample, way ample for sustaining life. So this is ready for repotting now. Another thing that you want to make sure is that you let this set out for 24 hours. You want to let the place where you cut, you want to let that dry out, because if you don't let that dry out, it's going to rot in your growing medium. And you don't want that to happen, because that will kill off your kiki. So just simply let it set out in a well-ventilated area Just simply set it there, and after 24 hours, then it can be repotted. So I actually have one that we've prepared yesterday, and this is another kiki here. As you can see, very small root system. However, this is just enough to maintain this plant. So this is okay. Just like I said, make sure it is enough. So then all you're going to do is set your mother plant aside here, and you're going to grab your container, fill it with just a tiny bit of growing medium. And once you have the growing medium in there, we're simply going to take our kiki and stick it into the growing medium there. Then all you're going to do is simply take your bark and pack it in, just like you would any other orchid. And obviously the last thing you have to do is label it so you remember what variety it is. And there you go. Your kiki has been repotted properly. So thank you for tuning into this episode on how to properly identify and propagate your kikis on your orchids. And hopefully you've learned something new and enjoyed. If you have any more questions, please don't hesitate to post them in the comments box below or shoot them in an email. I'd be glad to answer them. And if you did enjoy this episode, please subscribe. That way you can stay up to date on all the cool things we're doing on this channel. Also, if you have any friends that have some kikis or are looking at trying to figure out how to repot them or what to do with them, send them a link for this video. I think they'll enjoy it as well. Also, everything you have seen on this episode can be found at larrysorchids.com. There is a link in the description box below or on our YouTube channel itself. And as always, this is Luke from Larry's Orchids, and thank you for making us the #1 one-stop shop for all your orchid and tropical needs. All right, till next episode, see ya. Bye.